morning, everybody. It's Theresa. The holiday season can be so joyful. Joy to the world, tidings of comfort and joy. You know the story. It can be a really joyful and happy time of the year, but it can also be extremely difficult, very sad and lonely for many people. I've had my share of wonderful Christmases, the majority of them. In fact, my sister and I often lament this time of year that we wouldn't be quite so stressed trying to make perfect Christmas preparations if it wasn't for our mom, who worked so hard to make Christmas so great when we were kids. But I've had many, many good Christmases, but I've also had my share of absolutely crummy ones. My father died when I was a little girl, buried the day before Thanksgiving. I was 8 years old. My mother died in my 20s. I lost grandparents. One particular Christmas, my 26-year-old cousin was dying of a stroke in Henry Ford Hospital, and my uncle and a cousin who was a PA went up and got her out of the hospital and brought her home for the day to be with our family, and she was hooked up to all kinds of machines. It was a horrific Christmas. Another year, I left my dear priest friend on December 23rd. I moved him into a nursing home, and I remember that day as I left his room and I walked by the Christmas tree in the lobby, and I got in the car and I just wept. I sobbed and sobbed. Very difficult times. This year we've lost 3 family members since last Christmas, and so I'm sure there'll be moments of sadness as well. But life happens, and when we feel these things and we go through these things, we wonder how on earth are we ever going to get through them. On those rough times, those rough Christmases, if I heard one more person say Merry Christmas, I thought I was going to scream. There were times if I got one more Christmas card, I just wanted to rip them up and throw them away. And some of you might be there right now for a variety of reasons. You might be experiencing this horrific depression. You might be experiencing the loss of someone that you love. This is the first or the second or the 15th Christmas without that person. Maybe you have a kid or grandson, nephew, niece that's in Afghanistan, or who has been hurt in the war, or a child that you haven't talked to in years, or you're estranged. Maybe you've just been divorced or broke up. Whatever reason, I just want you to know that life isn't always going to be like this. It isn't always going to be difficult. Things can turn around. Somehow, I found the strength to get through those tough Christmases. You're going to do it too. One thing I learned a long time ago, didn't always practice it. My tidings of comfort and joy came from food. Didn't always practice this principle, but I've learned it a long time ago, and I've tried to apply it to my life. And it's joy with the letters Joy. And I don't mean job, ourselves, your stuff. The secret to true, lasting joy has nothing to do with being thin. It has nothing to do with being rich. It has nothing to do with having a perfect life, perfect job, perfect kids. True joy comes from Jesus, or whatever your faith persuasion is if you don't share my Christianity. Others, O, and finally Y is ourselves. When we get our priorities in order and we try to live the best lives that we can, in my case, to be compassionate and kind, to be generous, to do the right thing, I fail so many times. But if I put that J first, put Jesus first, and try to live that type of life, whatever your faith is, whatever your higher power teaches. Put that first. Then focus your energy and your priority on others. Finally, finally, be concerned about yourself, your needs, your wants. Now, I understand that when you are trying to change your life, it's important to make yourself important and a priority. You have to make yourself valuable. You have to make time to be with yourself. But they all have to be in balance. You can't be too far focused on the J and spend all of your energy trying to find your purpose in doing every single possible thing that you can at church, every function, every committee, every bake sale, and find your purpose doing only that to the detriment of your family and your marriage and your relationships. You can't focus all of your energy on other people where everything you do, you're volunteering for everything, you're giving everything that you have financially, and your own bills aren't being met. You can't focus all of your energy just on yourselves either. They have to be in balance. And when you find that you have a balance in those areas, it's much easier to be joyful. And so I encourage you during this holiday season, as you get ready to change your life or as you continue to be changing your life, find time in the next 2 weeks to focus on the spiritual, whatever that means for you. Take a walk, read a book, watch a good Christmas movie, an inspirational movie, go to church, go to a reconciliation service, whatever that means to you. Spend some time on others, especially those that you know that are hurting. There's lots of things that you can do for other people that doesn't involve money. It doesn't involve lots of time. When you're filling out your Christmas cards, open the phone book, for instance. Pick out a random name, and send a Christmas card to that person. Yeah, it might be a little weird, but you know what? It might be the only Christmas card that person gets this year. Donate things that you don't need anymore to the Salvation Army or Goodwill. Give something to the food bank. That's giving things away. But you know what else you can do? You can invite somebody to your home that you know that's going to be alone. You can call somebody up that you know has lost someone, and you can simply say, "Hey, I know." If you've lost somebody, or you're in a situation where your family has lost somebody, try to make them present. Try to make that memory important. Try to make that memory live on. Too many times when we're dealing with death, nobody talks about it. Nobody mentions that Grandpa's not here. Nobody mentions that so-and-so is in Afghanistan because we don't want to upset the apple cart. But you know, when I was grieving, there were many times when I just wanted to scream because it seemed like the whole entire world was going on. Everybody was busy about doing their thing, and my life was falling apart. So be sure to make that memory alive in whatever way it is. You can do that. Light a candle, say a special prayer, make a recipe, wear something of that person's to make them feel like they're part of the celebration. And finally, yourself. Focus on yourself a little bit. Take some time to take good care of yourself. Get rest. Eat properly. Take a walk. Too many times we're so busy with all kinds of things that we get ourselves run down ragged and stressed. We don't sleep well, we don't eat well, and the next thing you know, we get sick. So I want this Christmas season, when they say joy to the world, to really mean deep down, bubbling over joy, regardless of what your circumstances are. I hope you have a good day, everybody. And I'll be talking to you again real soon.